He didn't lose the money. He lost the illusion of control. For a while, it looked like he was winning. Every spin, every crash, every bet, millions moving in seconds. And there he was, Drake, the world's most famous rapper, sitting in front of a glowing screen, smiling like he'd cracked the code to infinite luck. But when it all came crashing down, it wasn't the money that hurt, it was the silence that followed. Because when Drake nuked his deal with Stake, called the owner a snake, deleted his streaming account and disappeared overnight, the internet realized something terrifying. Even he wasn't safe. Before we dive into how the Drake featuring Stake empire collapsed, let me talk to the ones who love the game, but not the manipulation. If you're into poker, real poker, where strategy matters more than algorithms, check out Phenom Poker. It's where professionals and dreamers collide at the tables. We drop $1,000 in monthly giveaways for you. And our most active members win exclusive, full expense paid luxury trips, VIP experiences, and much more. Use the referral code JASON when you sign up to get all VIP rewards, and maybe next time you're the one everyone's talking about. Because on Phenom Poker, the house doesn't always win. Now, back to Drake and how one of the biggest influencer deals in history turned into digital warfare. It's 2025. The internet moves faster than truth. But if there's one thing that still holds power online, it's spectacle. And nobody understood spectacle like Aubrey Drake Graham. He wasn't just a rapper anymore. He was an empire. Music, luxury, sports, memes.
I got these cats tucking tails on 4-quarter sales.
Crypto, Drake had mastered the art of turning attention into currency. But then came the partnership that blurred everything. Stake, an unregulated crypto casino based in Curacao, run by two young Australian billionaires with one mission: to turn gambling into content. And who better to sell the dream than Drake himself? When he signed the rumored $100 million deal, he didn't just endorse Stake, he became its face, its heartbeat, its god. Millions tuned in every week to watch him gamble live. Roulette spins, slot machines, live blackjack with stacks of crypto worth more than most people's lifetime earnings. He'd lose $300,000, laugh, then double down. He'd win $1 million, shrug it off like pocket change. The chat would explode. Crypto prices would spike. He wasn't streaming, he was preaching. And the congregation was global. Drake turned gambling into lifestyle, and Stake turned lifestyle into a $1 trillion addiction economy. For 2 years it worked. Drake's streams brought in hundreds of millions of impressions. Stake became one of the most visited gambling sites in the world.
Well overdue, by the way. Well overdue, by the way.
Then, against all odds, back-to-back wins had the room going crazy.
Yeah.
And a new generation grew up thinking gambling wasn't dangerous, it was aspirational, until it all fell apart. Let's rewind. 2022, Drake is at the peak of his power. Certified Lover Boy has topped charts. He's untouchable rich beyond comprehension. So when Stake came knocking, it wasn't the money that sold him, it was the narrative. The idea that Drake could gamble publicly and win. That he could make chaos look controlled. It wasn't just a sponsorship, it was a performance. Every stream was perfectly staged. Neon glow, champagne, private jets, designer fits. It looked like luxury. It smelled like control. He wasn't playing the casino, he was the casino. And Stake understood the psychology perfectly. They knew people don't want to see the average man win. They want to see a god play with fire and walk away laughing. Drake was their Trojan horse, a billionaire, convincing millions of broke fans that risk equals freedom. And it worked. Twitch banned gambling. Stake's founders responded by launching Kick, a new streaming platform built around freedom. Drake was its poster child. His first stream broke viewership records. It was digital alchemy risk turned to gold. But the problem with building an empire on dopamine is simple. Dopamine runs out. It started quietly. A missing stream here, a vague tweet there, then silence. Drake wiped his Kick account or get banned, deleted every trace of his Stake affiliation, and without warning, he was gone. Fans panicked. Whispers began to spread. Then came the word snake. Allegedly, Drake called Ed Craven, Stake's co-founder, a snake in a private conversation that leaked online. No one knew what triggered it.
Ed, your boys are here. The gang members are here. This is what you built. Can we get a morale speech?
But when a man like Drake goes dark, it's never random. Within hours, millions in affiliate traffic disappeared. Kick streamers speculated. Gambling forums lit up with rumors. Was Stake rigged? Was Drake set up? Because here's the thing, what looked like fun for us was a business for them. And when billions of crypto move through an unregulated casino, trust isn't a marketing term, it's oxygen. And that oxygen had just been cut off. Behind the scenes, insiders claimed Drake had grown uneasy. Too many red flags, too many questions about where the money came from and where it went. He started asking about ethics, about the younger fans watching, about the win streaks that looked too convenient. Some claimed Stake used casino credits to fake wins during streams. Others said he lost more than he admitted, that millions were written off as marketing expenses. Whatever the truth, one thing was clear. The world's biggest artist had just declared war on the world's biggest crypto casino. For a company that built its empire on Drake's fame, losing him wasn't just bad PR, it was an existential crisis. Stake moved fast. New campaigns, new streamers, they signed fresh faces, threw sponsorships like confetti, but no one could replace him, because Drake wasn't just a promoter, he was the symbol. And when symbols fall, they take faith with them. The deletion was more than digital housekeeping, it was rebellion. A man who made billions flexing on camera suddenly decided he didn't want to be seen. No statement, no PR spin, just vanish. In an era where every influencer milks controversy for clicks, Drake chose silence. And that silence was louder than any scandal. The internet went into forensic mode. Clips resurfaced, streams dissected frame by frame. Viewers noticed delayed reactions, suspicious edit cuts, improbable win streaks. Theories multiplied. Maybe Stake manipulated odds live. Maybe Drake's account was privileged. Maybe he was gambling with Stake's money all along. We'll never know for sure.
Wait, Drake deleted his kick? Great. Huh, great.
Because the truth about online casinos is this: they don't need to lie. They just need to make the truth impossible to prove. And once you start questioning whether a game is fair, the game is already over. The timing made it worse. Crypto markets were volatile. Gambling regulators in Australia and Canada began tightening restrictions. Twitch's anti-gambling ban gained renewed support. Stake's empire built on chaos suddenly looked mortal. But for Drake, this was personal. Friends close to him told reporters he felt used, like his image had been weaponized to normalize addiction for millions of young fans, that he'd become a salesman for something he no longer believed in. And when he realized that, he walked. No payout, no goodbye tour, just vanished into silence.
Eddie, join the call, brother. Talk to us. What's happening? 5th losing stream in a row. The people are not convinced. Where is the 45 bag?
Because when you've already won everything, the only victory left is walking away. But even walking away has a cost. In business circles, whispers said he forfeited millions unclaimed sponsorship money, open bonuses, crypto holdings. But what he gained might be worth more: distance, freedom. Drake was the first major celebrity to pull the plug on a casino empire he helped create. And that sent shockwaves through the influencer economy. Because if he could walk away, what did that say about everyone still inside? Think about it. For years, people watched billionaires and streamers gamble live and assumed it was all real. But what if it wasn't? What if it was theatre, a digital circus, to keep your dopamine engaged while someone else collected your data, your deposits, your attention? Stake wasn't a casino, it was a psychological experiment. And Drake was the control variable proof that even someone who had everything could still crave the thrill of almost losing it all. That's the paradox of gambling. You don't fall in love with winning, you fall in love with risking. And when a man like Drake worth $500 million still needs that rush, what hope does the average person have? I want you to imagine this. You're sitting in your room at 2 AM, watching him stream. The lights are low, he spins a roulette wheel for $300,000. He loses, you win $20 on your phone. You laugh, he laughs. For a moment you feel connected, that's how it starts. It's not about the money, it's about identification. If he can bet $1 million, you can bet 10. If he can handle the loss, so can you.
Oh, that would be the perfect ending.
It's psychological mimicry, the illusion of shared risk. But it's not shared, because when he loses, he's still Drake. When you lose, you're alone. And that's the cruel genius of influencer gambling, it disguises exploitation as community. After Drake's exit, Kick tried to move on. They signed more creators and streamers known for chaos or controversy, but none of them had Drake's credibility, because what made Drake's stream so magnetic wasn't just money, it was myth. The myth of control, of being untouchable, and once that myth broke, the The audience saw the cracks in everyone else too. Influencer gambling isn't new, but it's evolving faster, smarter, more psychological. Crypto casinos like Stake operate in legal grey zones. No real age verification, no limits, no oversight. And because crypto transactions are borderless, regulation can't keep up. The perfect storm for manipulation. Drake's departure was a warning shot, the first sign the system might eat its own. People like to think they can spot manipulation. They can't. Casinos aren't designed to trick your brain once. They're designed to train it slowly, invisibly, relentlessly. The colors, the sounds, the near misses, the bonuses, everything is a feedback loop. A carefully engineered dopamine cycle to make you feel lucky right before you lose again. Stake's genius wasn't inventing this, it was modernizing it, turning it into a lifestyle. They didn't just sell gambling, they sold identity. And who better to wear that identity than the man who already defined what success looked like? Drake. The king of calculated risk, the man who made heartbreak sound like a flex. But in the end, even kings bleed when the crown gets heavy. The tragedy of Drake's story isn't about money. It's about realization. The moment he saw what he'd created, a generation of young fans chasing losses disguised as inspiration. Maybe he saw the faces in chat. Maybe he scrolled through comments like, "Bro, I just lost my rent, but at least I was vibing with Drake." Maybe that's when he decided to stop. Because some addictions don't hit until you watch someone else live them. He walked away. But the ripple he left behind is still spreading. Regulators in Australia started probing Stake's operations. Countries like the UK tightened influencer gambling rules. And suddenly, being paid to promote casinos wasn't cool, it was controversial. The same system that made Drake rich had turned toxic, and the same audience that cheered him on began to ask harder questions. Was it rigged? Was it real? Was it worth it? Questions that can't be unasked once they're voiced.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Deeply appreciative. We'll be coming back to you soon. Shout out to Eddie and shout out to Stake.
Here's the truth. Gambling isn't about chance. It's about control or the illusion of it. And the more power you think you have, the harder the fall when you realize you never did. Drake's partnership with Stake wasn't just a marketing deal, it was a mirror, a reflection of our collective obsession with risk, validation, and performance. He gambled publicly so we could feel privately brave. He lost publicly so we could feel privately safe. But both were illusions, and illusions, no matter how expensive, eventually break. Somewhere tonight, a teenager is watching one of Drake's old streams. The neon glow flickers through a cracked iPhone screen. They're betting a few dollars in crypto. They're thinking maybe this time, luck will change. It won't. Because luck isn't the game, belief is. And the house always wins, not because it cheats, but because it understands how to make you keep playing. Drake's silence is powerful because it exposes something bigger than gambling. It shows the fragility of modern fame, how influence once commodified becomes a curse, how attention can turn into addiction, not just for fans, but for the influencers themselves. He didn't quit because he lost. He quit because he finally saw what he was winning, and it wasn't worth it. In a world where everyone's trying to play the system, maybe the bravest thing you can do is walk away before it plays you. Because when you gamble with your image, even winning looks like losing. But this wasn't the only celebrity who learned that lesson the hard way. Next time, we'll uncover the story of the man who beat Las Vegas for millions, only to disappear when the casino struck back. Because in the world of gambling, every miracle has a bill to pay.